Hey, welcome. Let's start with a wild question. What if our entire idea of spiritual progress, that slow, steady climb up a ladder, is completely backwards? Today, we're diving into a classic Buddhist teaching that says true spiritual achievement can happen in an instant and in the total opposite direction you'd expect. Just for a second, think about it. When you picture a truly great spiritual master, what's the first thing that pops into your head? What do you assume it took for them to get to that level? For most of us, it looks something like this, right? It's a long, predictable climb. Step by step, you put in the work for decades, you rack up all these good deeds, and you try really hard to stay away from anything difficult or messy. You're always moving up and away from the chaos of life. I mean, it makes sense, but what if it's just plain wrong? Well, there's this sacred text, the Sutra of Great Compassion, and it describes a scene that just completely shatters that whole model. It drops a bombshell so unexpected, it basically redefines the entire game of spiritual progress. So try to picture this. You've got this huge assembly of people, and all of a sudden, this incredible bodhisattva appears. And the light, the wisdom, the sheer spiritual power coming off of this being is just overwhelming. Everyone there is completely floored, totally in awe. So of course, everyone turns to the Buddha and asks the one question that's on their minds. Whoa, how long did that take? How many countless eons, these unimaginably long stretches of time, did this bodhisattva have to practice to get to this amazing state? And the Buddha's answer, this is the bombshell. He says, Kyo Hatsushin, which means he just made his vow today. Just today. Not eons ago, not centuries ago, today. And with that one sentence, the entire idea of a long, slow, gradual climb is just gone. So the mind-blowing takeaway here is this. It's not about the amount of time you spend practicing. Not at all. It's about the quality and the sheer size of your intention, of your vow. A single powerful vow made with absolute sincerity can literally catapult you to a level that others might take lifetimes and lifetimes to even get close to. Okay, so if it's not about time, then what is it about? Well, the sutra goes on to explain exactly what separates a truly great bodhisattva from an ordinary one, and it all comes down to which direction you decide to face. So the sutra lays out these two very different paths. On one side, you have what it calls the lazy path. This is the conventional approach. You look for pure, clean worlds, you only help the good people, you avoid any real difficulty. But the courageous path, the path of a great bodhisattva, is the exact opposite. It's about choosing to dive headfirst into the most difficult, corrupted worlds, actively seeking out those who are suffering the most, and volunteering to fix the hardest bugs in the system. And this really gets to the heart of the teaching. You see, great compassion isn't something you find by escaping to some perfect paradise. It's something you forge in the fire by having the courage to walk right into the middle of suffering and become a source of light exactly where it's darkest. Now, you might be thinking, okay, that sounds noble, but how could anyone actually do that? How could one person take on the world's biggest problems? Well, the sutra reveals this kind of hidden cosmic physics that makes it all possible. Let's call it vow resonance. The idea is that the moment you make a vow of that incredible magnitude, a vow to face down difficulty for the sake of others, you send out this powerful signal, and the universe, in all its amazing complexity, actually starts to reorganize itself to help you get the job done. Seriously, think about how wild this is. According to this teaching, other beings, on some deep level, make their own vows to support yours. Some agree to be your family, or your students, or your allies. And then, and this is the most radical part, some even vow to be your obstacles, your enemies, the people who challenge you at every turn. Why? Because they know that's exactly what you need to build the strength and wisdom to fulfill your own great vow. This just reframes everything, doesn't it? With this mindset, that difficult boss, or that frustrating family member, or that huge societal problem, they're not just random, annoying roadblocks anymore. They become your personalized spiritual gym, perfectly designed to make you stronger. So this is great philosophy, but how do we make it practical? Well, this isn't just an ancient idea, it's like a new operating system you can actually install in your own life, starting right now. The text gives us a surprisingly clear 4-step guide to start walking this courageous path. Let's just break it down real quick. So first, and this combines the first 2 steps, You reframe your view. The very next time someone frustrates you or gets under your skin, instead of reacting like you normally would, try this little mental flip. Just think, here's my training partner, the one who vowed to help me practice patience. Thank you. It completely shifts you from being a victim to being a student in your own life. Next, step 3. Train in what the sutra calls absolute giving. The goal here is to be able to give your time, your energy, your resources without even a tiny flicker of regret or displeasure. The text is super hardcore on this point. It says if there's even one insincere thought, the practice is basically polluted. It's all about cultivating a mind of zero pollution, just pure, unadulterated generosity. And finally, step 4, consciously choose your challenge. Look, it's easy to help people we like, people who are grateful. The real training, the big leap from our normal human habits to this bodhisattva path, is to intentionally help someone you find difficult, or to tackle a problem that just seems messy and thankless. That's where the magic really happens. So in the end, the ultimate takeaway from this powerful teaching is a total 180 of our spiritual goals. It's not about finding the light for yourself. It's about having the courage to become the light in the places that need it the most. And that really leaves us with one final question to think about. It doesn't have to be some far-off dramatic place. It could be a tense family dynamic, a toxic workplace, or a problem right in your own community. So, what is the difficult world that you are willing to step into, not to run from, but to help transform?